temperatures will remain at 34 degrees Celsius. It's time to wrap up this hour's news. Thank you for joining. You're listening to BFM 부산영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM 부산영어방송.
Coming up next is Busan Worldwide with Stephanie Yoon. BEFM 부산영어방송.
The scorching heat wave has been persisting for a staggering 14 days here in Busan. But that's not all, as Typhoon Khanun is now heading towards the city. 네, 무려 14일째 폭염특보가 내려진 가운데 태풍 카눈이 부산을 향하고 있습니다. Now, Typhoon Khanun, the sixth typhoon of the season, has recently altered its projected course towards South Korea. It is forecasted that Busan, Ulsan, and Gyeongnam will fall within the direct impact zone of the typhoon from the night of the 9th. As we know, many areas are still recovering from recent floods, so this is certainly a cause for concern. Well, this is Busan Worldwide, and I'm your host, Stephanie Yoon. Good morning. Welcome to Busan Worldwide on this lovely Monday morning. It is August 7th and hope you're having a wonderful week so far. And thank you so much for tuning in to BEFM 부산 영어 방송. Now, talking about Typhoon Khanun, according to the current observations, the Typhoon Khanun's path was initially projected to pass through Kyushu, Japan, and approach Ulleungdo area as well. However, there was a shift in its projected trajectory. So the typhoon is projected to reach the southeastern coast of the Korean peninsula, including Busan, Ulsan, and Gyeongnam, from the night of the 9th until the night of the 10th. 네, 부산, 울산, 경남은 9일 밤부터 10일 밤까지 태풍의 직접적인 영향권에 들어가는데요. Especially along the eastern coast of the Gyeongsang region, there is a high likelihood of heavy rainfall and strong winds on the 9th and 10th. So it will be crucial to fully prepare for the potential effects of the typhoon. While we hope that Typhoon Khanun will not cause any damage, we do hope that it will bring some relief from the heat wave that has been gripping the region. So listeners, stay safe and please take all necessary precautions to protect yourselves and your loved ones. Well, listeners, thank you so much for tuning in again to Busan Worldwide for Monday edition of the show. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. And if you have any stories from the weekend as well, share with us here at Busan Worldwide. You can always communicate and connect with us through YouTube and also Kakao and pound 90504 101. And on YouTube, we are always live streaming. So you can go to YouTube and search BEFM or 부산 영어 방송. Check out our studio. Check me out as well and our guests, and you can send us messages for free on YouTube. Now, to briefly tell you what we have going on for the next hour, we do have the interview, which is our main segment. Today, we're going to be talking about Busan is Good slogan, as well as some of the special pop-up exhibitions. So tune in for that. And also, we have Up Busan 2030, where we will update you with World Expo news with an expo-related quiz each day. And lastly, we have Correspondent Report. 오늘은 미국통신원과 연결합니다. Now, listeners, we do have some messages coming in on YouTube. We have Drew Bro님 saying, Hi, Stephanie. 태풍이 다가오니 걱정이 되면서도 시원한 바람이 불어와서 많이 무덥지만은 않네요 라고 보내주셨어요. Definitely, hopefully there will be no damage, but also I am definitely excited for that. More of a mild weather for this summer after the typhoon as well. So definitely crossing our fingers and stay safe, Drew Bro님 as well. Well, from Busan to the world, Busan Worldwide. 오늘의 더 인터뷰 라이브로 만나보시죠. Now it's time for the interview. Our city's new slogan, Busan is good, is quite catchy, isn't it? Now, Busan is good because it's a city of beaches, of film, and hopefully of the World Expo. Until August 27th, on Heundae Atelier, 칙칙폭폭, which is located at the old Heundae station, a special pop-up exhibition will be underway highlighting our city's slogan, which is Busan is good. So to talk about this and more, please welcome Mr. Kim Jae-hoon. He is the Public Officer of New Media Planning of the Busan City New Media Division. 부산의 새 슬로건 Busan is good. 활용하기에 참 좋은 슬로건이 아닐까 싶어요. 부산시가 오는 8월 27일까지 아뜰리에 칙칙폭폭에서 Busan is good을 주제로 한 팝업 전시회를 열고 있다고 하는데요. 오늘 자세한 이야기 나눠보겠습니다. 김재훈 부산시 뉴미디어 기획팀 주무관 나오셨는데요. 안녕하십니까?
네, 안녕하세요.
네, 반갑습니다.
네, 반갑습니다.
It's a pleasure to have you in the studio today. Now, since July 28th, the pop-up exhibition Busan is Good had been underway. So what's been the response of visitors? 네, 지난 7월 28일부터 팝업 전시회 Busan is Good 열리고 있는데요. 다녀가신 시민들 반응이 어떤지 궁금합니다.
우선 새로운 도시 브랜드에 대해서 관심이 굉장히 많으십니다. 특히 이번 팝업에 대해서는 기존 지자체에서 하던 홍보 방식과는 확연하게 다른 홍보 방식을 접하시면서 좀 신선하다 그렇게 느끼시고 덕분에 도시 브랜드가 더 확실하게 와닿는다고 많이 말씀을 해주시고 계십니다.
네.
특히 MZ 세대들의 호응이 대단한데요. 사진도 많이 찍으시고 SNS에 공유도 많이 해주고 계십니다.
그렇군요. 이 새로운 도시 브랜드에 대해서 시민들의 관심이 크다고 말씀해 주셨는데요. Now he said there has been a lot of interest in the new city brand or city slogan. Many visitors mentioned that the exhibition was a fresh promotion method that is clearly different from methods by other local governments, and the city brand is more clearly understood now. The response from the MZ generation was especially great. He said they take a lot of photos and would share them on social media, which is great to hear. Now, the slogan, Busan is good, is a result of taking in the opinions of 100,000 Busan citizens and was made official back in March of this year. So what kind of opinions were there? 지난 3월 새로운 브랜드, 도시 브랜드, Busan is good, 부산이라 좋다. 시민 10만여 명의 의견을 수렴한 슬로건이라고 하는데요. 어떤 다양한 의견들이 있었나요?
일단 저희 도시 브랜드 부산이라 좋다 슬로건을 만들기 위한 키워드 작업부터 로고 디자인까지 많은 부분에 있어서 시민들의 의견들이 많이 반영되었습니다. 그리고 전반적으로 부산시의 비전과 가치를 잘 담길 바라셨고 새로운 변화의 중심에 있는 부산의 미래지향적 가치 그리고 다시 태어나도 살고 싶은 부산이라는 말처럼 따뜻하고 포용력 있는 부산의 모습 또한 많은 분들이 원하셨습니다. 그런 부분에 대한 시민분들의 의견이 좀 많으셨습니다.
그렇군요. So he said the opinions of citizens were reflected in many areas when it comes to the new city brand and city slogan. So from choosing the keywords to creating the slogan to even the logo design. They wanted the slogan to capture the vision and values of city of Busan, the future-oriented values of our city to show that Busan is at the center of various changes as well as our warmness, right, and inclusiveness to show that our city wants to be reborn. Many people gave many opinions on these aspects as well. Now, talking about Heundae Atelier, 칙칙폭폭, right, might be quite new to many of our listeners. So could you introduce the place for our listeners tuning in today? 이 아뜰리에 칙칙폭폭이 좀 낯선 분들이 계실 것 같은데 어떤 공간입니까?
아뜰리에 칙칙폭폭은 옛 해운대역 자리입니다. 그래서 폐역이 되면서 그냥 방치하기보다는 새로운 공간을 만들면 좋겠다라는 생각에서 해운대구청에서 다양한 문화 프로그램들을 통해서 문화 공간으로 활용하고 있었고 이번에 도시 브랜드 팝업에 저희가 굉장히 적합하다라는 판단이 돼서 저희 시청 뉴미디어과와 해운대구청이 협의를 통해서 한 달간 아뜰리에 칙칙폭폭에서 도시 브랜드 팝업을 열게 되었습니다.
네.
여름 휴가철에 대한민국 최고의 해수욕장인 해운대 인 만큼 남녀노소 외국 관광객까지 많은 분들이 접근하실 수 있는 좋은 공간이라고 판단됩니다.
네, 맞습니다. So he said it's at the old Hyundai station. When the station closed, the city thought it would be a good idea to turn it into a new space rather than leaving it unused. So the Hyundai district office was using it as a cultural space for various cultural programs, and the city thought it was a very suitable space for a city brand pop-up exhibition. They've also held the pop-up there for the past month, as he mentioned, as the Hyundai is one of the most popular beaches here in Korea during the summer vacation season. They thought many people, young and old, and foreign tourists could visit and enjoy the city brand pop-up exhibition in Hyundai. Well, out of all local governments, ours is a first to set up a pop-up exhibition like this. So how did the plans for this come about? 이 전국 지자체 가운데 팝업 전시는 최초라고 하는데요. 어떻게 이런 기획을 하게 되셨나요?
우선 단순히 일방향적인 도시 브랜드를 홍보하기보다는 시민 스스로가 즐기고 사랑하는 도시 브랜드가 되길 바라는 마음에서 시민과 조금 더 가까이에서 홍보하고자 생각을 했고요. 특히 새로운 도시 브랜드를 가장 폭넓게 또 오랫동안 향유하며 살아갈 주인공이 저희 MZ 세대이기 때문에 그런 MZ 세대에게 와닿는 홍보를 좀 해보자 하던 고민 끝에 요즘 MZ 세대에서 최고 각광받고 있는 이런 팝업이라는 홍보 방식을 선택하게 됐습니다.
그렇군요. 이 시민들이 즐기고 사랑하는 도시 브랜드가 되길 바라는 마음에서 이런 기획을 하게 되셨군요. So he said rather than simply promoting the city brand in one-way manner, right? Like one direct way, they were hoping that it would become a city brand that citizens themselves that we would enjoy and love. After thinking about how to promote the new city brand in a way that would reach out especially to young generation like the MZ generation, who will be the ones to enjoy the city brand the longest, they chose to promote it through a pop-up, which is currently very popular among MZ generation. Now, tell us what visitors can expect at the pop-up exhibition. 이 팝업 전시회가 어떤 구성으로 되어 있는지도 궁금합니다.
이번 도시 브랜드 팝업의 이름은 빅업인데요. 이 빅업은 부산 이즈 굿의 줄임말 BIG라고 저희가 쓰고 있거든요.
네.
그래서 이 BIG와 그리고 팝업의 업 합성해서 빅업이라고 했고요.
네.
또 다른 의미로는 부산 is good for up이라고 해서
네.
저희가 좀 성장하기 좋고 발전하기 좋은 부산이라는 느낌을 좀 드리고자 이렇게 중의적인 표현을 담아서 만들었습니다.
네.
팝업은 부산 is good에서 GOOD 총 4개의 테마를 따서 공간을 연출했고요. G는 글로벌. 그래서 글로벌은 세계 속 부산이라는 주제로 다양한 컬러의 글로벌 속에 단연코 중심에 있는 부산이 있다라는 표현을 아크릴 조형물을 통해서 좀 조성해 놓았습니다. 그리고 O는 오리지널이라고 해서 부산의 특색 있는 것들을 표현하기 위해서 해운대를 배경으로 한 포토부스 그리고 부산의 키워드 등을 통해서 사진 찍기 좋은 포토스팟을 저희가 마련해 놓았습니다.
네.
그리고 또 다른 O는 오픈인데요. 개방적인 도시, 열려있는 도시 부산을 미디어 아트를 통해서 저희가 표현해 놨습니다. 그리고 끝으로 D는 다이나믹인데요. 역동적인 부산을 표현하기 위해서 인터랙티브 게임존을 구성해서 남녀노소 이렇게 누구나 뛰어놀 수 있는 그런 공간들을 구성했습니다. 이 밖에도 저희 도시 브랜드가 시민의 염원과 바램을 표현했다라는 의미의 조형물이라든지 아니면 새로운 부산의 완성을 나타내는 3D 프린트 등을 설치해서 되게 다양하게 저희가 꾸며놓았습니다.
그렇군요. 이 Busan is good에서 GOOD, good 이렇게 4개의 테마를 따서 공간을 연출하셨다고 설명해 주셨어요. So very interesting. So this exhibition, the pop-up exhibition at Hyundai, the topic or the theme is Big Up. It's a compound name of big, which is short for Busan is good, B-I-G, and pop-up. So it's Big Up. And they wanted to express express that Busan is a good place to grow and develop. The 4 themes are included in the word GOOD, good. So for G from good stands for global, to show that Busan is a global city, and that shows that Busan is definitely in the center of the world in various colors, which is created through acrylic sculptures at the exhibition. And to express the unique characteristics of Busan, O, which stands for original, is expressed through the decorated photo spots with a photo booth set against the backdrop of Hyundai and Busan's landmarks. And another O from good expresses the openness of our city through media art. And finally, D from good stands for dynamic, and they organize an interactive game zone developed by a local company in order to express Busan as a dynamic city so that people of all ages can play. There are also various exhibits such as sculptures expressing the wishes of citizens and also 3D printers representing the completion of a new Busan. Now, listeners, if you're just tuning in to Busan Worldwide, we're in the middle of the interview with Mr. Kim Jae-hoon. He's a public officer of New Media Planning Division of the Busan City New Media Division as well. Now, we're talking about Busan is good, which is the new slogan of Busan, right? And there are also a number of programs and events to go with the exhibition that we were talking about, the pop-up exhibition. So we're going to hear about a couple of these programs and events as well. 네, 팝업 전시와 연계해 다양한 부대 행사도 또 진행 중이라고 하는데요. 몇 가지 소개 부탁드릴게요.
우선 오픈식 때는 유명 팝 아티스트인 홍원표 작가님의 라이브 드로잉 쇼가 있었습니다.
네.
그리고 계속해서 저희 포토 키오스크를 통해서 포토키오스크 추첨을 통해서 상품을 나눠드린다든지 그다음에 군함로에 대형 조형물을 설치한다든지 다양한 프로그램들을 고민하고 있고요. 앞으로 시민 여러분들이 더욱 즐겁게 즐기실 수 있도록 다양한 프로그램들을 선보일 계획입니다.
알겠습니다. So he said there was a live drawing performance by famous pop artist Hong Won-pyo, and that was during the opening of the exhibition. They also plan to put on various other programs like the raffle events to give away gifts through photo kiosk or installing large-size sculptures on Kunamno, and many, many events for citizens to enjoy in the future as well. Now, the new city brand, Busan is good, is catchy and can be used in lots of ways, but it's still a bit new and maybe awkward for many of us. So what is needed so that it can become a bit more comfortable and familiar for our citizens? 네, 올 초에 확정된 부산의 도시 브랜드인 Busan is good. 정말 다양한 분야로 활용성이 높을 것 같은데요. 시민들이 보다 친근하게 느끼려면 어떤 노력들이 필요할까요?
우선 팝업과 같이 시민의 가장 가까이에서 함께 호흡하는 홍보들이 지속적으로 필요하다고 생각을 하고요. 네. 그다음에 단순히 일방적으로 받아들이는 도시 브랜드가 아닌 시민 개개인이 사랑하고 활용하고 즐길 수 있는 도시 브랜드로서의 자리매김이 더 필요하다라고 생각합니다.
네, 맞습니다. So he said plenty of events such as the pop-up exhibition is needed so that it becomes closer and a part of people's daily lives here in Busan. And they want the new brand to not be something that citizens just accept, but come to love and want to use. Well, right now, the city's new media division has an ongoing contents competition under the theme Busan is good for ... or Busan is good for blank, right? So we're going to hear a bit about this competition as well. 현재 뭐뭐뭐라서 부산이 좋다라는 주제로 뉴미디어 콘텐츠 공모전도 진행 중이라고 하는데요. 어떤 내용입니까?
우선 땡땡땡이라서 부산이 좋다라는 주제로 시민 행복 15분 도시, 아이 낳고 키우기 좋은 도시, 탄소 중립 도시, 글로벌 허브 도시, 디지털 혁신 금융 도시 이렇게 4가지 주제 중에 선택해서 유튜브 또는 인스타 콘텐츠를 제작해서 저희 시에 공모하는 공모전입니다.
네.
내가 사는 부산에 대한 자부심과 부산의 미래에 대해 재미있고 참신한 콘텐츠들을 많이 도전해 주시면 좋을 것 같고요. 자세한 내용은 저희 부산시 인스타그램이라든지 페이스북을 통해서 더 자세하게 확인하실 수 있습니다.
네, 알겠습니다. So he said this is a new contest that is contestants create YTube or YG content or IG content that is on one of these topics. So he mentioned 15-minute city. Busan is a good city to have and raise children, carbon neutral city, global hub city, and digital innovation and financial city using the expression 뭐뭐뭐라서 부산이 좋다 or Busan is good for blank, right? And they hope for a lot of fun and new contents that shows the pride of our city as well as its future. And he shared that you can check out the contents competition for the theme Busan is good for blank under the Busan City social media platform on any of their websites or platforms and social media for the official Busan City platform. Well, that's going to do it for today's The Interview, talking about the new slogan of Busan, Busan is good, and also some of the programs and also the pop-up exhibition that's going until August 27th at Haeundae Atelier, 칙칙폭폭 as well. And that was with Mr. Kim Se-hoon. He's the public officer of new media planning of the Busan City New Media Division. 네, 오늘은 부산시 뉴미디어 기획팀 주무관과 함께 자세한 이야기 나눠봤는데요. 주무관님 오늘 출연 너무 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다.
Right, and that's going to do it for today's The Interview. Such an important topic as we are kind of going into a new era of Busan City, right? With the Busan new slogan, Busan is good. Well, with that, the time is now 11:25. Let's take a quick song break. This is Afterglow by Ed Sheeran.
Stop the clocks, it's amazing. You should see the way the light dances up your hair. A million colors of hazel, golden and red. Saturday morning is fading. The sun's reflected by the coffee in your hand. My eyes are caught in your gaze all over again. We were love drunk, waiting on a miracle, trying to find ourselves in the winter snow. So alone in love, like the world had disappeared. Oh, I won't be silent and I won't let go. I will hold on tight till the afterglow, and we'll burn so bright till the darkness softly clears. Oh, I will hold on to the afterglow. Oh, I will hold on to the afterglow. The weather outside's changing. The leaves are buried under 6 inches of white. The radio is playing Iron and Wine. This is a new dimension. This is a level where we're losing track of time. I'm holding nothing against it, just you and I. We were love drunk, waiting on a miracle, trying to find ourselves in the winter snow. So alone in love, like the world had disappeared. Oh, I won't be silent and I won't let go. I will hold on tight till the afterglow, and we'll burn so bright till the darkness softly clears. Oh, I will hold on to the afterglow. Oh, I will hold on to the
Welcome back to Busan Worldwide. I'm your host, Stephanie Yoon. Hope you're having a safe and dry and cool summer and day so far. Now it's time for Up Busan 2030. It's a daily campaign segment here in Busan Worldwide to learn more about World Expo until November, which is when the host city for the 2030 World Expo will be decided on. So let's dive right into it. There have been concerns surrounding the World Scout Jamboree as it may have some negative effects on the efforts to host the 2030 Busan World Expo. 네, 세계 잼버리 대회를 둘러싼 excuse me, 총체적 난국이 2030 부산 월드 엑스포 유치 활동에 일부 악영향을 미칠 수 있다는 우려가 제기되고 있습니다. So at the World Scout Jamboree, numerous challenges have emerged from inadequate event venues and heat-related illnesses to delay government responses as well and operational issues at various levels. And as a result, the situation has escalated to the point where countries like the UK and the US have decided to withdraw their participation, highlighting the magnitude of the overall crisis. Another issue at hand is the potential direct and maybe indirect impact of the international event on the preparations and image of Busan World Expo. The lack of preparedness and negative perceptions of Korea brought to light by this World Scout Jamboree could have some impact on the efforts to host the expo. Officials from Busan City expressed genuine concern, stating that while the image of Korea may not be entirely determined by this event, there is a legitimate worry that it might suffer a setback. And central government officials also recognize that given the diplomatic nature of hosting the expo, the ongoing controversy over the World Scout Jamboree could have a negative impact on Korea's image as well. However, within the government, there are predictions that the scale, duration, and nature of the event, they're just completely different enough that they may not significantly impact the efforts to host the Busan Expo. So we sincerely hope for a smooth conclusion of the World Scout Jamboree without any further unfortunate news, and to prevent this image setback from affecting the 2030 Busan World Expo, it seems necessary for both the Busan city and the government to implement exceptional measures. Okay, that was the update for the Busan World Expo daily campaign here at Busan Worldwide. Now let's move on to the Daily Expo quiz. So throughout the 170-year history of expos, the tradition of exhibiting artworks has been consistently upheld. But it actually all began with France taking the lead. In 1855, the Paris Expo showcased an exclusive art exhibition hall presenting over 5,000 high-quality sculptures and paintings, forming a grand celebration of art. And moving into the 20th century, the U.S., which played a leading role in expos, also emphasized art exhibitions. During the peak of the 1939 New York World's Fair, which is World Expo, a remarkable painter made their mark. This artist designed what's called the Dream of Venus Pavilion, an underwater world theme park, right? Or pavilion that Venus statues, a coral, and fish-shaped ticket booths. And pavilion itself became a work of art. So here's the question for today. 네, 엑스포 관련 문제 드리겠습니다. Who is the artist behind this Dream of Venus Pavilion? Who is the artist behind this Dream of Venus Pavilion? 네, 1939년 뉴욕 박람회에서 바닷속 세계를 주제로 지은 비너스의 꿈 전시관을 만든 화가는 누구일까요? So the question was, who is the artist behind this Dream of Venus Pavilion from 1939 New York World Expo? And the answer is Salvador Dali, right? 정답은 바로 살바도르 달리입니다. So among his notable works is the masterpiece, The Persistence of Memory. In Korean, they call it 기억의 지속, depicting a landscape of melted clocks in the desert. I'm sure you remember remember this. Usually the clocks are round, but they're all melted. And he was widely recognized as an artist who embarked on an extraordinary journey. And he was also called a twisted genius. And the world of art and creativity has definitely left a huge impact on expos, and definitely excited to see that part of World Expo here in Busan in 2030 indeed. Well, that's it for Up Busan 2030, a daily campaign for the Busan World Expo. And as you know, we will continue this segment until November. And with that, let's take a quick song break. This is Taylor Swift with Cruel Summer.
Fever dream high in the quiet of the night. You know that I caught it. Bad boy, shiny toy with a price. You know that I bought it. Killing me slow, out the window. I'm always waiting for you to be waiting below. Devils roll the dice, angels roll their eyes. What doesn't kill me makes me want you more. And it's blue, the shape of your body is blue. The feeling I got it is blue. It's a cruel summer. It's cool, that's what I tell 'em. No rules, unbreakable heaven, but the vending machine, I'm not dying. We say that we'll just screw it up in these trying times. We're not trying. So cut the headlights, summer's a knife. I'm always waiting for you just to cut to the bone. Devils roll the dice, angels roll their eyes. And if I bleed, you'll be the last to know. Oh, it's blue, the shape of your body is blue. The feeling I got it is blue. It's a cruel summer. It's cool, that's what I tell 'em. No rules, unbreakable heaven, but it's a cruel summer with you. I'm drunk in the back of the car, and I cried like a baby coming home from the bar. Said I'm fine, but it wasn't true. I don't wanna keep secrets just to keep you. And I snuck in through the garden gate every night that summer just to seal my fate. Then I scream for whatever it's worth. I love you, ain't that the worst thing you ever heard? He looks so gritty like a devil. It's blue, the shape of your body is blue. The feeling I got it is blue. It's a cruel summer. It's cool, that's what I tell 'em. No rules, unbreakable heaven, but it's a cruel summer. I'm drunk in the back of the car, and I cried like a baby coming home from the bar. Said I'm fine, but it wasn't true. I don't wanna keep secrets just to keep you. And I snuck in through the garden gate every night that summer just to seal my fate. Then I scream for whatever it's worth. I love you, ain't that the worst thing you ever heard?
Beyond the borders of Busan, bringing the world back to you. Busan Worldwide with Stephanie Yoon.
The country's housing agency is calling attention to
Correspondent Report. That's right, it's time for Correspondent Report, where we connect with our reporters from all around the world. 지금부터는 세계 곳곳의 통신원들을 만나보겠습니다. 오늘 라이브로 연결할 나라는 미국인데요. 미국 LA의 스텔라 통신원과 함께합니다. 안녕하십니까?
안녕하세요.
It's great to hear from you. Now, we are connected with Miss Stella based in LA, and we're going to hear all the news coming from the U.S. region. So let's jump into our first topic for today. Now, according to the latest reports, there is a notable shift in attitudes towards work-life balance among Americans. So we're going to hear a bit about this. 네, 코로나19 팬데믹 이후 미국에서 워라밸을 중시하고 일을 적게 하는 경향이 나타나고 있다고요.
네, 그렇습니다. 이 미국 인구조사국에 따르면은 현재 노동자의 39%가 재택근무를 하고요. 이들 가운데 절반은 주 5일을 집에서 일합니다. 이는 코로나19 이후 크게 상승한 수치로 월스트리트저널은 코로나 팬데믹 이후 일에 대한 태도가 크게 바뀌었다는 징후다라면서 일보다 삶을 더 중요시하는 경향이 뚜렷해졌고 노동자들이 돈뿐만이 아니라 유급 휴가 또는 유연 근무 등 비금전적 보상을 더 요구하고 있다고 밝혔습니다.
Wow, interesting. So, as per the U.S. Census Bureau, a significant 39% of workers are now engaged in remote work, with half of them working from home 5 days a week. The Wall Street Journal reports that this indicates a clear trend of prioritizing life over work, right, after the pandemic. And workers are not just seeking financial rewards or pay, but also demanding non-monetary benefits like paid leave and flexible working hours. And interestingly, this shift towards a better work-life balance seems to have led to increased worker satisfaction. So let's hear a bit about this. 네, 일을 적게 하면서 노동자들의 만족도는 상승했다고요?
네, 그렇습니다. 컨퍼런스 보드가 지난 5월 발표한 조사에서 노동자 만족도는 2021년과 2022년 사이 역대 최고 수준으로 상승했습니다. 8개 조사 항목 가운데 만족도에 가장 큰 영향을 미친 것은 work-life balance였고요. 일의 재미는 가장 적은 영향을 미쳤고 임금의 영향력은 중간 정도였습니다. 월스트리트 저널은 고용자들도 이러한 노동자들의 요구에 응하고 있다면서 유급 휴가를 주는 고용자 비율은 2019년 63%에서 현재 70%로 올랐고 육아 휴가를 주는 고용자 비율도 28%에서 39%로 높아졌다고 전했습니다.
I see. So a survey by the conference board revealed that worker satisfaction reached an all-time high between 2021 and 2022, with work-life balance having the most significant impact on overall satisfaction, whereas the enjoyment of work had the least impact and salary fell somewhere in between. Employers are also responding to these demands, with the percentage of companies offering paid leave rising from 63% in 2019 to 70% currently, and the percentage of providing childcare leave increasing from 28% to 39%. Now, hearing about the better work-life balance and people enjoying and having that worker satisfaction is great to hear, especially coming from the U.S. With that, let's jump into our second topic today. In the Southern California region, there continues to be a string of smash and grab incidents, so let's hear a bit about this. 네, 다음 소식 볼게요. 미국 남가주 일대에서 떼강도 사건이 계속해서 발생하고 있다고요?
네, 그렇습니다. 팬데믹 때 즈음으로 Black Lives Matter 무브먼트가 많이 열렸었는데 그때 정말 날마다 떼강닭 사건이 발생했었어요. 근데 요즘도 이러한 떼강닭 사건들이 이어지고 있습니다. 특히나 지난 월요일이었던 7월 31일 하루에만도 2건의 떼강도 사건이 발생했습니다. 하나는 LA에서 한인들은 물론이고 주민들이 가장 많이 찾는 쇼핑몰 가운데 하나죠. 센츄리시티 웨스트필드 몰에서 발생했고요. 다른 한 건은 한인들도 많이 거주하는 얼바인 지역의 한 그 스트림 몰에서 발생했습니다. 더구나 두 사건 모두가 백주 대낮 쇼핑객들로 붐비던 시간대에 발생해서 더욱더 충격을 주고 있습니다.
그렇군요. So let's talk a bit about this smash and grab incident. For our listeners, a smash and grab is a particular form of burglary that involves smashing a barrier, usually a display window in a shop or a showcase, and then grabbing valuables and then making a quick getaway without concern for setting off alarms or creating noise. So our reporter shared that the smash and grab incidents that were prevalent during the pandemic are still happening these days. Especially on just one day, a week ago, July 31st, which was a Monday, there were 2 smash and grab incidents in California region. One occurred at the Century City Westfield Mall, one of the most popular shopping centers, not only for Korean residents, but also other residents in the LA region. And the other incident incident took place at a strip mall in on the Irvine area where many Koreans reside. Moreover, both incidents occurred during the bright daylight and bustling hours when shoppers were present. 이 센츄리 시티 몰은 규모가 상당한데요. 구체적으로 어느 가게에서 발생한 겁니까?
네, 블루밍데일 백화점 내 구찌 매장 안에서 일어났습니다. 로스앤젤레스 폴리스 디파먼트에 따르면은 월요일 오후 3시 10분쯤 때 강도단이 침입해서 물건을 털어갔다고 합니다. 이 소셜 미디어에 올라왔던 동영상을 보니까요, 매장에서 용의 남성들이 두 손과 두 팔 가득 넘치게끔 물건을 들고 출입문을 향해 뛰어가는 장면이 담겨져 있습니다. 럭셔리 백 여러 개를 강탈해가는 모습도 있었고 숏케이스, 수화물 가방도 털어가는 모습이 잡혔습니다. LAPD는 강도단이 흰색 SUV 그리고 빨간색 기아차를 타고 도주했다고 밝혔습니다.
I see. So the crime happened inside a high-end luxury brand store within a department store, which was Bloomingdale Department Store. And according to the LAPD, the smash and grab gang stormed in around 3:10 p.m. on Monday and eluded the merchandise. And she shared that videos on social media show suspects with bags and suitcases full of stolen luxury items rushing towards the exit. And they got away with multiple high-end bags, and it was also captured on video that they were stealing suitcases and bags, and LAPD revealed that the gang fled in a white SUV and a red car. 이 어바인에서도 떼강도 사건이 발생했다고요?
네, 월요일 낮 12시 30분쯤 얼바인의 Jewels by Ellen이라는 주얼리 가게에 3명의 용의자들이 들이닥쳐서 망치로 유리 진열대를 깨부수고 90만 달러 이상의 보석들을 싹쓸이해갔습니다. 이처럼 떼강도 사건이 발생하면서 업주는 물론이고 쇼핑객들도 불안에 떨 수밖에 없는 상황이 됐어요. 로스앤젤레스가 천사의 도시라는 뜻인데 정말 이 말은 옛 표현이 된 것 같습니다.
그렇군요. So she shared also around 12:30 p.m. on Monday last week, 3 suspects targeted a jewelry store in Irvine. They smashed the glass display cases with hammers and grabbed over $900,000 worth of jewelry. With these smash and grab incidents happening, both business owners and shoppers can help but to feel anxious. And the city of Angels, LA, right, seems like a thing of the past. Well, with that, let's move on to our next news. We're going to be talking about unbelievable weather in Phoenix, Arizona. 다음 소식입니다. 애리조나주 피닉스의 110도 최장 기록이 얼마나 이어졌는지 나왔죠?
네, 지난달 피닉스의 낮 최고 기온이 계속해서 화씨 110도를 넘기면서 최장 기록을 깨뜨렸었는데요. 110도를 넘는 낮 최고 기온은 31일 동안 지속된 것으로 나타났습니다. 지난 6월 30일부터 7월 30일까지 31일 동안 낮 최고 기온이 110도, 즉 섭씨 43.3도를 넘는 고온이 계속된 겁니다. 이전까지 연속 폭염 기록이었던 1974년 18일을 훌쩍 뛰어넘은 것입니다. 그리고 피닉스에서는 밤 최저 기온도 19일 연속 화씨 90도 아래로 떨어지지 않는 신기록까지 세워졌습니다.
I see. So last month, Phoenix broke the record for the consecutive days with temperatures over 110 degrees. It lasted for 31 days, and from June 30th to July 30th, the daytime high temperature surpassed 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 43.3 degrees Celsius continuously. This surpassed the previous record of 18 days set in 1974. Also, Phoenix set a new record for not experiencing temperatures below 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 32.2 Celsius for 19 consecutive nights. 그런데 8월은 더 더울 것으로 전망됐다고요?
네, 그렇습니다. 잠깐 화씨 110도 밑으로 내려가긴 했지만 화씨 110도를 다시 넘을 전망이고요. 현지 기상청은 8월이 7월보다도 더 더울 것으로 예상하고 있습니다. 이번 일요일만 하더라도 최고 기온이 116도에 이를 수 있다는 예보가 나왔는데 제가 아직까지는 기온을 체크해보지는 않았어요. 그러면서 금요일부터 주말 사이 다시 한번 폭염 경보를 경고했습니다. 피닉스가 얼마나 오랜 기간 더웠으면 최근 지역 명물인 사막식물 사고로 선인장은 더위를 이기지 못하고 고사하는 일까지 벌어져 뉴스가 됐습니다.
I see. So although the temperature briefly dropped below 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 43.3 Celsius, it's predicted to exceed 110 degrees again. The local meteorological department expects August to be even hotter than July in Arizona. And this Sunday, the forecast predicts the temperature to reach 116 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 46.6 Celsius. Furthermore, they warn that there could be another heat advisory between Friday and the weekend. So this past weekend, and scorching temperatures have become so extreme that the iconic desert plant, right, the saguaro cactus, has been withering and dying due to the heat, making headlines in the news. And now, listeners, if you've been tuning in for a while, I am from Arizona and I've been living there for about 15 years before coming to Korea. The heat in Arizona is very dry, but it's like walking into a sauna, right? And because the sunlight is so just scorching hot, you can cook an egg on a car. Not even just black cars, any white cars, any cars, you can cook an egg. And I've actually tried it. It works. And that's how hot it is. So definitely, I gotta be calling my friends and family members to be careful. And if you do have any people you know in Arizona, let them know, stay hydrated and stay cool in the house, or even malls would be a great idea. Now let's jump into our next news. It's predicted that California could face a significant loss of competitiveness if its population growth stops until 2060. 네, 마지막 소식 볼게요. 캘리포니아주가 2060년까지 인구 성장이 멈춰 지역 경쟁력을 크게 상실할 수 있다는 전망이 나왔는데요. 이 소식 전해주시죠.
네, 캘리포니아주 재무부는 최근 카운티별로 오는 2060년까지 인구 추정치를 발표했습니다. 그 결과 지난 2020년 1,000만 명을 넘었던 LA 카운티 인구수는 올해 2023년 975만여 명으로 추산됐습니다. 3년 동안 25만 명 이상이 줄어든 겁니다. 주 재무부 예측에 따르면 LA 카운티 인구수는 매년 지속 감소해서 오는 2048년 800만 명대로 떨어질 것으로 보입니다. 이어 2060년이 되면 828만 4,195명까지 줄어들 것으로 예측이 됐습니다. 즉 140만 명 이상이 줄어들 것이라는 전망입니다.
I see. So the California State Treasurer's Office recently announced population estimates for each county up until 2060. As a result, LA County, which had exceeded 10 million people in 2020, is now estimated to have a population of around 9.75 million in the current year, 2023. It has decreased by over 250,000 people in just 3 years. And according to the State Treasurer's Office projections, the population in LA County will continue to decline, reaching around 8 million by the year 2048. Also, it's estimated to decrease further to 8,284,195 by 2060, meaning a projected decrease of over 1.4 million people. 그럼 인구가 급감하는 이유는 어떤 것들이 있을까요?
네, 높은 주거 비용, 또 원격 근무 확산에 따른 이주민 증가, 그리고 저조한 출산율이 꼽혔습니다. 팬데믹 이후 원격 근무가 확산되면서 장소에 구애받지 않고 일하는 사람들이 늘었고요. 이들은 비교적 주거 비용이 낮은 곳으로 거주지를 옮기고 있다는 설명입니다. 또 캘리포니아주 재무부의 안드레스 가야루도 인구 통계학자는 LA 지역 출산율이 급격히 줄어들 것으로 예측됐다고 설명을 했습니다. 실제로 지난 2016년부터 2021년까지 카운티의 출산율은 20%나 감소한 것으로 집계됐습니다.
그렇군요. So the reasons cited for decreased population include high housing cost, an increase in remote work leading to migration, and low birth rates. And with this widespread adoption of remote work after the pandemic, people are choosing to move to areas with lower housing cost. Additionally, Andres Gallardo, a demographer at the California State Treasurer's Office, stated that the birth rate in the LA area is expected to decline significantly. And indeed, from 2016 to 2021, the county's birth rate has decreased by 20%. Well, with that, that's going to do it for today's Correspondent Report, connecting with our reporter based in LA, Miss Stella. 네, 지금까지 소식 들어봤는데요. 스텔라 감사합니다.
네, 고맙습니다. 지금까지 LA에서 스텔라였습니다.
All right. And that's going to do it for today's show. Before we wrap up, though, we do have some messages coming in through YouTube. We have Jubro님 asking, 아리조나 겨울 날씨는 조금 다르나요? 라고 물어보셨는데요. Actually, wintertime in Arizona is amazing. We do have something called winter birds. So a lot of people have homes in Arizona because it's a bit cheaper compared to California or Seattle. So they'll stay in California or Seattle, New York during summertime, and they'll come to Arizona for the winter. So the traffic gets actually congested during wintertime, which is interesting. And a lot of golfers and sports athletes come to Arizona as well during wintertime, but everyone flees. They all run away during summertime as well. So the weather is amazing in Arizona during wintertime indeed. Well, the time is now 11:54. Listeners, if you missed some of our show today, you can tune in again at 8 p.m. tonight or on YouTube. You can check it out. All the past shows of our show, Busan Worldwide. And if you're on there on YouTube, search BEFM, 부산영어방송. Make sure to subscribe, like our videos, and message us as well. And now this program was produced by Tina Park, written by Pangmira. I've been your host, Stephanie Yoon. And the final song for today is You Too with or Without. Bye-bye.
Stone set in your eyes, see the thorn twist in your side. I'll wait for you. Sleight of hand and twist of fate, on a bed of nails she makes me wait, and I wait without you. Without you, with or without you. Through the storm we reach the shore. You gave it all.